We started this three-parter with talking about how this felt like a conversation was being had about you. That's why when we got to the end of part two, it was like there's something more to this because we're getting a lot of like they get it, like they can see this from every single angle or whatever. They think they can see it from every angle of like, okay, well, if I do this, I know it's going to look like that, and when you do that, I know that that means that you want me to like. It's very much so trying to decide on if this is even logical, like if this makes any sense, if it's even worth the time or the energy spent on it. But this is a conversation, one that is taking place currently or will be soon. So it's like, sure, this is all of your excuses here, but what about the other people in this conversation? Because I do feel like there's at least one other person in this conversation. What are they adding to it? Okay, so thank you for the secrets and lies. Because I feel like I want to do dirty things to you in eye contact. Okay. That kind of threw me off. It's like we know we started with the first part of this, but like, yeah, great, the passion. We know there is like some very extreme going on this week. Okay, like I don't know. It just it um I want to do dirty things. What are the lies? You don't want to do dirty. Not like that. I mean, I think there are, I definitely think there's some undertones of that. Like, there is a big, like, I'm getting like there's some kind of like, I wish I could just show up to your door and you just smile at me and we just, we don't even need to talk. Why? We're just gonna fuck it up anyways. Let's not talk. And again, that could be another possibility. That is also on the table of one of the many things that could happen here. Oh, secrets and lies. What's the game plan? Like that's kind of what I'm getting from the other person, like in the conversation. Like, what is the game plan though? Because you're coming up with a lot of excuses for why you won't do something or why you should do something, or if you're gonna collective act like this for a certain reason. I didn't think you'd ever leave me. When I get that I didn't think you'd ever leave me, it's so interesting because I'm seeing, like, I know we're all a bunch of Swifties over here, but we're getting like, I'm still at the restaurant. Like, when we were getting about them, like, leaving you out in the cold and you would have sat in the cold with them, they felt like they were doing a service for you. Or at least partly they felt like they were doing a service for you. That's something that you might not see. Because understand, there's a lot of complexities about all the emotions and all the feelings and all of the things that have happened. Like, it's like, even if both of you can see it from your own perspective, you can also see it from the other. Where it's like, I don't have a right to come back because, look, you now built a house with heated floors and, like, you're not cold. Why would I come in and bother you when I left you when you were cold? And there could even be a side to this where it's like, I left because I went to go find warmth for you. And it's like, I would have just sat there and you just, I waited at the restaurant. You didn't come back, so I had to save myself. Just really interesting. It's like the kind of lies that we tell ourselves to either make ourselves feel better about the situation, and like, but can you dine off of that? Like, can you live from those, telling yourself those lies and the secrets that you keep from each other because you think it's for the best or for the betterment of the other one or whatever? But what's the game plan? Because if the game plan is to see what's here and what this could be, is really like keeping all these things unsaid or not knocking on that door, like, is it worth carrying that forever? Bernie, come here while he's crying because Carver left. Dad jokes. No, maybe it doesn't have to be so heavy either. Even if the conversation itself is very heavy, it doesn't have to be. No, maybe you can't just knock on the door and then go to Pound Town. Maybe you can't do that. But maybe also it doesn't have to be so drainingly emotionally. Like, this is one conversation. You don't have to go through the whole freaking list. But you do have to show up with some kind of vulnerability. And I feel like that's kind of where where your boundary is. There has to be something that is meaningful, or no, it doesn't work. You don't have to address everything, but something has to give here, and it's got to be them. And they know that too. 2000s. Evan and Jaren. Crazy for this girl. 2000 summer playlist. But I feel like that's maybe even where the conversation with whoever they're having is kind of coming in from too, is you can't, it might not be this way and it might not, but what if it's like a comfortable middle? What if it's not as scary as what you're making it out to be? But can you live with what's harder to live with? Not knowing? Is that, because it doesn't seem like it's been easier to live with the not knowing than the worst thing that could possibly happen. And if it is the worst thing that could possibly happen, at least you know. But yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows shit. It's just a bunch of excuses and a bunch of possibilities of how things could happen, but it's not any action. 1 year. You want to be in the same spot you were last summer? You want to do that? You want to do another year of this? Are we going to do another year? So if they're having a conversation with, they do feel like that person is like they're changed. The fact that they can even get have the ability to see it from someone else's perspective, or what they think your perspective. They don't even think they know what your perspective is. But are they gonna make it? I don't think they've decided. I feel like this is just the conversation of like, is it better to not take your chance at all and just live with like the not knowing? Because there's a possibility it could go terribly wrong. Is that the big plan here? Because you're miserable. And you might be miserable when you show up and they hit you with a frying pan. But you know what? At least you're going to know. I'm not going to knock on that door again, probably. We're going to go part 4 for my TT subscribers and YT members. The rest of you, enjoy your Thanksgiving.